Hey, this is James Pelton, and we are live. I hope you all are doing just great. I love doing these AMAs. I love seeing who's in the audience and just chatting with you guys, bringing new projects to you and new unique things that I don't have a lot on the channel. So today we're going to be talking about Xeno Mining, and we have the whole team here. So some of you people who have been talking about, hey, don't bring on people who aren't doxxed and who don't show their faces and things like that. Today we have 3 people who are showing their faces. So that's very good. Not much of a chance of a rug pull when we got names and faces right here in front of us. So if you're in the audience, what we need from you as we get going here, please hit the like button. And as we're going, if you have questions, anything that you want to discuss, doesn't even have to be questions, just like topics of interest. We will go ahead and ask those as they fit into the conversation. So let's go ahead and start with introductions. We'll do introductions quickly here. We'll start with Xander's. We'll kind of do, just in order of how they are on the screen. But Xander, could you go ahead and introduce yourself and give just a little bit of your background?
Definitely. My name is Xander Moreno. I'm the head of mining operations at Xeno Mining, and I've been pretty much mining crypto since 2019, and have experience with ASICs and GPUs and all sorts of mining equipment. So that's basically what I specialize in.
Awesome. Let's go over to Aaron.
Hey, James, glad to be here. Hey, my name's Aaron Schuler. I'm a Marine Corps veteran and the operations manager here at Xeno and Dogface.
All right. And then Paul.
You guys are so modest, both you guys. Like, you guys are both badass dudes. So I'm Paul Benvenuti. I'm the CEO here at Xeno Mining. Dogface is actually our business. Xeno Mining is the third collection. Former first responder. I was a medic for about 15 years. I work in state service now. And these two guys are, you guys are being too modest. Xander is actually former CDCR himself. So a veteran and a couple of first responders with you today, James.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate your guys' service and just, your selflessness towards people, serving people. So again, I'm a Christian, and so I think nothing sums up service to other people like what you guys are doing. So really appreciate that for sure. And I want to talk about that as we're going through here, because I know that's a big part of what this project is meant to do. So let's start with whoever feels most qualified. If it's Paul, the CEO, or whoever, could you start out again, assuming people in the audience have never heard of this? We go through a lot of projects. Could you kind of give an elevator pitch of what you're trying to do and maybe how it's a little different than other things that we've seen in this space?
Sure. So Dogface, I'm repping, is actually the world's first veteran NFT project. And it was started by Fleece. Mark Tolick, our founder, started the project about 15 months ago. Probably actually a little more than that before we launched. Obviously, there was some business going on to start. But that project was started to combat veteran homelessness and the lack of support to veterans' mental health. And what that's grown to today, obviously we're here to talk more about Xeno Mining today, but what that's grown to is 2 sold-out collections through the Dogface brand. Our first collection was the Dogface Army. We sold out the OGs just a few months ago, and then sold out our second battalion just a few weeks ago. There's obviously a lot of utility through the Dogface Army project that we've built. Probably, I think what's most important to people so far is the ammo token. That ammo is our native token. That ammo will be tied to a liquidity pool through this Bitcoin mining project. And then obviously the comic book, the metaverse play to earn game that we're developing. We even have a gold dog tag that we're distributing to OG holders, merchandise that Aaron's been working hard to hook us up with. And then obviously our team. I think that's probably the coolest part of this project for me as the CEO. When I came into the project, I was just a moderator. Like, I jumped in the Discord. I work in state service, and I work in the California State Warning Center, work with a lot of veterans in the Warning Center. And one of the veterans that I work with turned me onto the project, said, hey, man, you got to come check it out. These guys are giving back to veterans and first responders. Jumped in, checked it out, immediately recognized The difference in this project versus a lot of the other NFT projects that I was in, we see so many other NFT projects that you purchase an NFT and that NFT just sits in your wallet and there's no real value in it. And not to take anything away from the art and the talented artists out there, because there's obviously the value in that. But having an NFT project that you can invest in and receive a significant return on your investment, not just the quick flip, the floor goes up, you make some money, but I'm talking about a longevity over time. And I immediately recognized that with the Dogface project. And so kind of moved from moderator to community manager, operations manager, and now I'm the CEO. And it speaks volumes for what Mark has built with the team. Xander here also started the same way. Aaron, same thing. We have an HQ team now. I believe it's 21 guys now, which is massive. And it's awesome because we have a huge community of supporters that are not veterans, that are not first responders. And it's really cool to see how when the project started with the thought of giving back to veterans, 10% of all our revenue goes back to veteran causes. When we started the project and to kind of, come from where we're at to where we're at now and see that growth and see how many civilians have joined the project to support veteran causes, it speaks volumes for the project, but it also speaks volumes for, the people that are in our community. I think we have right now 112 veterans and a little over a dozen first responders in the community. In the Discord, we have over 3,100. So that tells you right there, like, it's not a exclusive veteran first responder project. It's for everybody, but especially for those that want to help give back. And for me, growing up with two grandfathers that are veterans, countless friends that I call brothers, aunts, uncles, being surrounded by veterans in my life. Again, when I saw the project, it was easy to buy into. When I saw that Mark being fully doxed, jumping in voice chats all the time, jumping in Zoom meetings all the time, sharing his address, like, I knew that I could trust him, and I knew that I could trust that what he was building was something that was legitimate. So no second thought to jump on right away. And so yeah, we've sold out those two collections and now established this Xeno Mining team. We're fortunate to have Xander and Aaron. That's why I said before, these guys are both being modest. Both these guys have a ton of knowledge in crypto mining. I've done my due diligence. You always hear the old catchphrase, do your own research. I've done my own research. But what these guys bring to the team and their expertise, that's what I feel like really kind of sets us aside. We've really taken the time to dive deep into what is the most profitable way for us to mine. What is the most profitable way for us to produce a significant ROI back to our community? And that all kind of culminates to the veteran retreat, kind of like the end goal for the Xeno project. The Dogface project, our end goal was to obviously establish this ammo token, provide a staking engine to build the utility that I've discussed. The end goal for the Xeno project is to build a real life veteran retreat, but not, again, just for veterans. We want it to be for veterans, for first responders, and for our community. And that retreat will actually have a conference center, a learning center. We want to be able to offer accredited courses. Of course, we'll have fun stuff too. We got to have a gun range. You got to have a training facility. You got to have, we'll probably have like a little whiskey lounge, cigar lounge, hangout spot.
This is
it won't
America.
just be work
You
all
got
the
to
time,
do that.
right? Yeah, you got to have and we're talking about veterans and first responders. Like, the cool part about that is we want to put people to work there. Like, we want to be able to provide jobs at the facility. And who better to hire to teach a gun safety course than a veteran? Who better to hire to teach a self-defense course? So it's going to provide jobs, but it will also provide job placement. Part of what we want to do is we want to be able to bring veterans, bring first responders and community members that want to come into the retreat and learn more about Web3. Maybe it's Web2. Maybe it's starting up your own NFT project and how that works and what that looks like. Whatever it is, we want to be able to provide those resources. and then see people come into the retreat. Also, and James, I know you're familiar with it, this NFT space, there's these shill spaces, right, that run in Twitter, mega shill spaces. You come into a space, you pin up your tweet, you get 5 minutes to talk about your project, and then you're a ghost in the wind sometimes. We used to hit those like it was going out of style. And we made a decision a few months ago to really pull out of kind of these shill spaces and start our own men's mental health space. Because again, that's why Mark started this project, was to give back to veterans and provide more support. So what we've seen is now what used to be our Tuesday men's mental health space is now, what used to be a shill space is now a men's mental health space. So that space has grown into something amazing. We're fortunate to have some people in our community that are actually clinical therapists, that are life coaches, counselors, to help and lead that space. Obviously, us as guys, we can get up and talk about guy stuff and do the best that we can to support each other. But sometimes you need a professional. And so we're fortunate to have those guys run that Tuesday men's mental health space. That will obviously transition right into the retreat. We want to be able to provide 24-hour mental health support. And that may look different for everybody, right? Like everybody may need a different type of support, whether it's to sit and talk to someone. It could be a Zoom meeting. It could be faith-based. Like whatever that looks like, we want to be able to provide that at the retreat 24/7, 365. So that's kind of a brief overview. Obviously, I could sit and talk about it here forever because I'm very passionate about it, and I'm very excited about it. But I also don't want to steal anything away from these guys because these guys know a whole lot about mining, and that's what Xeno is about. We are about mining. We are about producing a significant revenue for our community and for our holders and for building this retreat. And these two guys are a huge part of that.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, no, thank you for that introduction. Sometimes I make the joke that, the elevator pitch, that's like maybe an Empire State Building elevator pitch with all the buttons pressed all the way up. But we get kind of the gist of what you're trying to do. And it sounds like the audience already is really resonating with the cause. I mean, people who've devoted their life to serving others, and then they kind of end up getting forgotten. And because of their service, PTSD or whatever the case might be, they're not able to function in society the way that they were. Definitely want to make sure they should be the first people that are taken care of. So really love that cause. Yeah. So maybe let's talk about some of the details. So this is an NFT collection. Can you talk about how many NFTs are in the collection, how much they're going to mint for, and then we'll talk a little bit about what the money is going to be used for, and we'll dig into it that way.
Sure. Yeah, so we're going to have 2009 in the Xeno collection. That's obviously a significant number because that's the year that Bitcoin was mined. You'll have a couple of phases. And as you see with a lot of NFT projects, what you'll see with us is phase one will be $300. We want to give early investors the opportunity to see the most significant ROI. And obviously, the quicker that we can sell the project out, the quicker that we can action on the retreat. Phase two, you see there another 500 NFTs. You'll probably see the price jump to 400. And then again, the same thing when we jump to phase three, 1009, you're going to see another price jump to 500. And the cool part about that is I think what we've really been trying to make sure that we can lock down is the ability to provide the return to the holders, the return on investment to the holders immediately, like not have a waiting period. With most mining projects, you have a waiting period. There's a startup period. You're purchasing miners. You're getting those miners started up, whether it's through flare, solar, hydro, whatever type of mining project it is, or source of power. There's a startup cost there. There's a startup time. We want to be able to eliminate that and to be able to provide a return right away.
Okay, very good. So you're going to mint these in phases here like this. And then can you talk about, so with the funds, what exactly you're going to be doing? You're going to go out and purchase some miners. And do you want to talk about what kind of miners and where you're going to be mining at? Maybe this is Xander where you can chime in, the mining expert. But yeah, you want to give us some info on the mining side of things?
Yeah, definitely. So we've looked at three different coins to to mine specifically. So we're actually 4. So Bitcoin, Cadena, Litecoin, merge mine with Dogecoin. And we would be picking miners specifically, certain models like the K3, for example, that's Cadena miner, L7s for the script mining for the Dogecoin, Litecoin, and, the Antminer S19 XPs for Bitcoin. And so we're utilizing the best equipment available in the industry to give this return to the investor. We're not going to buy the cheapest. We're going to buy what's profitable, and with that profit comes the return on investment for the holders. So that's the goal, and is specifically utilizing renewable energy as well. That's very sought after nowadays, and it's actually really, really good for mining. There's flare mining, there's hydro, there's solar, there's even nuclear out there that is being explored. So you never know, but those are the ways we're going to be going about it.
Okay, and Peter would like to know, do you own the mining facilities, or can you tell us a little bit about like electricity costs and things like that? That's what people always want to know about when you're talking about mining.
At this time, we don't own the mining facility. We would be hosting, but the goal is to have our own mining facility run by us and managed by us, using renewable energy. So that is the goal. Once we accumulate enough capital to build our own facility, that's exactly what we'll be doing with the alongside the retreat.
Okay. Yeah. If you get into the nuclear mining, that is something we've not seen. So I'm definitely be on board with that. I might not want to visit the facility, but I support it in theory. So I think one question people are going to have is, there's been a lot of projects that have fallen apart. And so people have been looking for more solid plays. And I think mining has been something that a lot of projects have kind of gravitated towards, because it's one of the only things that's actually making money right now. So do you want to talk about what might be different between you and Hydro Whales was kind of one of the originals. Now we have fraction mining, which is, like you mentioned, is doing the flare gas. Cadena hashing is focused specifically on KA3. Where do you guys kind of see that you might kind of fill in the mining projects world?
I think the reason what sets us apart from all the other projects is that we are going to utilize all of the available technology and equipment that's out in the market to achieve our goals and achieve the, building the projects that we set out to build. And what we said we're going to build is what we're going to build. We're going to build a retreat. We're going to build a facility. We're going to, assist these causes, the veteran causes. And that's what sets us apart is we're dead set on doing it. We have a great team like Aaron and Paul and Mark and like Paul was saying, like 21 of us now, we're dedicated to see this through, and just us being doxxed is just the first step. That just shows, hey, we're being serious about this. We're not just, saying we're going to do it. We're going to put our money where our mouth is, in a sense.
Yeah. Being doxxed already puts you a step ahead of a lot of other projects. So yeah, definitely appreciate that. So we have a bunch of questions from the audience that I'd like to get through. So yeah, audience, keep them coming, and I'll get to them as when I can. But first question, people are really interested in this retreat center. Is the retreat center being built now, ground broken, or do you guys have a kind of ETA? That when question is always the most popular question. So when retreat center?
So we're looking to launch the Xeno NFT project in the beginning of March. So obviously the retreat being built will depend on that project producing revenue, right? And the plan is for us to, in phase 3 of that project, when phase 3 begins, to purchase land. Now that land is obviously needing to be purchased I'm biased. I want it to be purchased close to me so I can just go stay there and run it, because that's the dream right now. And I'm probably speaking for these guys too. But that is obviously our goal. Our goal is to have our HQ team on site running the Dogface projects through the retreat with our host facility of mining on site. But we would have to purchase the land and then obviously start the build. The build will take some time. Again, we're really fortunate to have some guys on our team that are actually construction experts, some guys that have worked in construction their entire lives, from building, tilt-ups, concrete tilt-up buildings to residential buildings. So again, just fortunate to kind of be in the position that we're in so that when we can break ground, that process will happen quickly versus maybe somebody who doesn't have a team like we have of 21 guys.
Okay, gotcha. And a lot of people are asking where. Do you have like some ideas for potential locations just to kind of give people an idea?
Yeah, so we're looking at several different locations, kind of Midwest, Mideast. Obviously, we want to build the retreat in a crypto-friendly state. That would obviously be the number one goal because we're going to have a mining facility on site. We are an NFT project. We run on the Ethereum blockchain right now. That doesn't restrict us to the Ethereum blockchain. So I do want to make that clear. We have already looked into maybe some other blockchains for future collections because, like I said, Xeno is only the third collection in the Dogface brand. So we still have first responder, Air Force, Navy, and like old Aaron here next to me, Marines too. So yeah, it's something that we're Aaron is a big part of this, and he can probably talk a little bit more about it. But setting up a mining facility, obviously purchasing land, you also need to look at the type of power that you're producing. So if we're going to purchase land somewhere, we have to link into, will it be a hydro facility? That land obviously has to be close to a water source. If it's flare, a source of natural gas, like those things we have to look into before purchasing land. And we're already doing those things now.
Okay, gotcha. Hopefully that helps. Just kind of give an idea for people. Funny Turo would like to know how much rewards are the previous NFT collections owners currently receiving? Do you want to talk a little bit about your past NFT collection and how that's been going, how that's been working out?
Sure. So original mint price 0.05. Our floor right now for the OGs is at, I believe, 0.42. Don't quote me on that because they've been moving like crazy the last week since we started to kind of do some spaces for Xeno and started to kind of talk about the return on investment through being an OG holder. I think that's something I didn't really touch on before, and maybe we're going to get into that, and I'm kind of jumping ahead. But the Xeno NFTs, 40% of that mining revenue will go back to our holders. If you're an OG holder, so you own a Dogface OG NFT, we'll have a separate pool of 5% for those OG holders. And again, that's significant because there's only 777 OG NFTs. I think right now there's about 170 holders of those NFTs. So that's 5% split over 170 holders versus the 2009 NFTs with the Xeno collection. So it's a pretty significant amount by you holding an OG. In addition to that, the OGs are being staked for 150 ammo tokens per day per NFT. So again, with the ammo token being tied to a liquidity pool through the Bitcoin mining, through the Xeno Mining project, that's obviously another source of revenue. And then in addition to that, if you own 5 OGs, you get a free Xeno. So kind of multiple ways to see a return on your investment.
Okay, and we talked a little bit about this, but when do you see the NFTs starting to mint? I think on the white paper it says Q1 2023. Do you guys have a date yet, or is it just kind of TBD but soon?
We really wanted to launch the end of February because, like I said, the whole purpose of this, at least for us, like end goal, is to build that retreat. So the faster we can launch, the faster we can sell out, the faster we can build the retreat. But there's also the business side of this that we need to make sure that we do our due diligence and that we have everything in place before we launch. Because like I said, we don't want to launch and then say, oh, hey, you've minted your NFTs, but you got to wait 3 months. You got to wait 6 months. to start receiving that return on investment. We want to launch in like day one, be able to deliver. So we're looking at beginning of March, just to give ourselves enough time to make sure that we have the facility in place, miners in place. We've already started to look at land, like all of those things are already being actioned on.
Very good. And then this was a good question. Is there any potential for government grants to help support veteran businesses like this that could offset some of the upfront costs? I don't know if you guys have looked into that much.
That's a man. I'll tell you, that is that's a tough one to answer, and I'll tell you why. So part of it, yes, there are government grants available. If you want to cut through red tape and spend a lot of time and effort and energy qualifying for government grants to support veterans, that's part of the reason that there's not enough support for veterans. That's part of the reason that there are so many homeless veterans on the streets. That's part of the reason that there are so many homeless veterans around the world. There's the number 22 veterans a day commit suicide. We are really thinking strongly about fully funding the facility ourselves and not receiving government assistance, because we want to be able to offer the services that we offer at no cost to veterans. We want to be able to not have a veteran have to worry about going through his insurance, going through TRICARE, trying to figure out how he's going to get a visit covered, whatever that looks like. Like, we don't want those to be concerns. But at the same time, in saying that, having worked in service for 22 years now myself, being a first responder, and now I'm in state service, we definitely are exploring those options, because we would be dumb not to. Like, we should be looking to some assistance. But again, we want to open this retreat tomorrow. I'm not going to wait for government assistance to do that.
Yeah, totally get you. And there's also, when you do take government assistance, then there's a lot more red tape that you have to go through, and they might say you can't do it exactly how you want to. You have to do it this way, right, and things like that. So I totally get something to probably look into, but maybe not embrace wholeheartedly. It might just be, kind of look into, but cautiously look into. So here's a question about electricity. Do they use electricity for mining? I assume you do. Eversource doubled our rates to 24 cents. How are they going to be profitable? Do you guys see, power rates seem to be going way up? How do you guys feel about energy costs right now? And maybe I'll ask too about the bear market, and is that over? And just mining profitability in general. Maybe I'll kind of make this question.
I'd like to hear from Aaron on that. Aaron hasn't talked yet. Let's hear from Aaron. He's got a pretty handsome voice too. Let's hear from Aaron a little bit.
All right, James. Hey, we're going to help you get out from under your miners. All right. Yeah, look, we got some great hosting options in the queue, and the goal, again, on the mining side, the goal to produce this revenue is to always stay nimble. So yeah, we got some great rates. We got some great options in front of us. We've shook a lot of hands in the space, and we're not worried about the rate part of this at all. I know everybody else is feeling it out in the residential world, but I'm not concerned about energy rates. I think we'll be doing just fine.
Okay, very good. Yeah, nope, I got you. What are you guys' thoughts on the market right now? Like, do you feel like the bottom's in, or do you not even worry about predicting it and you're just going to mine and not worry about market conditions, or what's kind of your philosophy there?
Hey, this is a great time to set this kind of thing up. This is the best time, and these low prices, this is a great time to buy miners and building a bear. So we'll be ready for the bull. And like I said, staying nimble and swapping these things out later will produce some significant revenue for our cause.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, in some ways, I say I like projects that start up in the bear market, because when projects started in the bull market, you always wondered how are they going to do in the bear market. But if you can make it through the bear market and be profitable in the bear market, the bull market will be just icing on the cake. So yeah, I definitely like that. So this is a question that always comes up, and I understand it is going to be so difficult to answer. So maybe we can just do very ballpark. I just want to know how many percent per month if I invest in. That's such a common question with like these mining projects. How do you guys answer a question like that? Giving them some direction, but I understand you can't give them exact numbers. How do you answer something like that?
So if you look at the white paper, there's actually a section of the white paper where we talk about annual income, and we talk a little bit about percentage that comes back to holders. So if you were to break that down into like a monthly revenue that's brought back to you, year one, and this is again, so potential rewards per Dogface OG and Xeno NFT holder in unison, right? So if I'm holding both, if I purchased a Dogface OG, which again on the floor right now, I believe are somewhere around $550. And then my Xeno NFT, let's say I get it in phase one, that's going to cost me $300. So for under $1,000, that's what my rewards are going to look like. Now, if I break that out over 12 months, it doesn't look like a lot in year one. Really doesn't look like a lot in year two either. But as I start to get into year 3, 4, and 5, that's a significant return on investment when I've spent less than $1,000 to get started. So that kind of gives you an idea of, and Ernesto, that's a great question because it's something that we have been looking at ourselves is how can we provide the most significant ROI back to our community and our holders. And obviously Aaron and Xander are here for a reason. These guys are constantly looking at the market, the price of miners, renewable energy, what's the best source to use so that we can, obviously increase our ROI and start to deliver to holders right away too. So that's a great question.
Okay. Yeah, very good. Yeah. So this is kind of, I think these are good estimates. This is kind of what you're aiming at. This is not what you're promising. And I totally get that. Nobody should look at this and say, okay, I'm in year 5, I'm going to make $106,000. These are just estimates based on the numbers, how they are right now. But hopefully that gives you some idea. Are the rewards going to be in the coins which are mined? So that's a good question. Are you going to be paying out in KDA, BTC, or how are rewards going to be paid out?
So we're actually going to use our ammo token. That's part of something that's, I think, another thing that when we talk about like, what are we doing differently? It's part of something that we're already looking at doing differently than what other projects do. And again, it's a huge part of why we're trying to make sure that people understand that owning an OG or owning a second battalion NFT and staking that now and earning your ammo now, stacking your bag full of ammo so that when that ammo is tied to a liquidity pool through the mining project, you have a significant value. Now, that does not mean that we will not be paying back in Bitcoin or Cadena or other coins. We're looking at kind of a new and innovative way, I guess you would say, and probably not that new and innovative to the space. It's not like nobody's ever done it before. But again, when we're talking about us being kind of the first veteran NFT project to come into the space, we're the first ones to be doing this. So we're excited about that. We're pretty fortunate to have a developer on staff who is, he's one of the leads in the industry. And his information's in the white paper as well. Like the whole team's in there. You can go in and see everybody's name, where they're from. And then once we have the website finished out, all that information will be available there too.
Okay, very good. And Richard says, if you all join the Dogface Discord, you can find all info and the team ready and willing to answer any further questions. So yes, if there's something we don't get into, Richard must be a good part of the community. Do you guys claim Richard as part of your community?
Well, we don't have a choice now because he just made a comment, but yeah, no, that's our CSO, man. Rich is the man. Rich is from New Zealand. He owns a business, IRL. He works his tail off for us through the Dogface project. He's one of the co-founders. And then obviously now moving into the Xeno collection. Rich is an absolute beast, man.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, so definitely if you guys have questions that we don't get to here on this AMA, again, I don't have time to ask all 300, 500 questions that people might have. So go hop into the Discord and definitely get your questions answered before jumping into something like this. If a miner you purchase becomes outdated, so this has happened to my KD5 and KD6 miners, they are outdated and they are worthless now that the K3 comes out. What is your guys' plan to prevent that from happening? To prevent, we'll call it a James Pelton. How do you prevent a James Pelton from happening to you?
Well, basically, we would be upgrading at the time when everybody's, selling, and we'd be selling when people are buying. And that's basically what we'd be doing. We're not gonna, we're gonna make sure that we front run our sale when we flip our miners. We don't want to be selling when everybody's selling and buying when everybody's buying. So basically that's what we'd be doing.
Okay, yeah, and that actually
we've already.
No, go ahead.
Sorry, James. I was just going to say we've already built into what you'll see again in that white paper is, so we have like 40% of our revenue going back to holders. We have some that's going back to the community, some back to the team, and part of that money that's coming back to the team is for maintenance. So we're already going to have money set aside in the event a miner goes down. No problem. We have money set aside. It's replaced. It's back online. No time lost.
Okay, very good. And yeah, I was going to say, if the bear market is over, which I'm not convinced it is, that's another topic for another day. But the bear market is really the only time that these type of mining projects can start. Because if we're in the bull market, you can't go buy miners. That's what I learned the hard way. Is you cannot buy miners in the bull market because they're priced even higher than the coins are. So this is the only time. And if we see Bitcoin start to make a run back up and start to reach some of the all-time highs, this might be the last chance for some of these mining type projects to kind of get off the ground until who knows what the market's going to do. I'm not going to even try to predict because who knows. But yeah, that's just something to consider. MSC Braces says, when will we be able to host our own miners? Can we buy the miners that you guys will host, pay out rewards, and send to us?
That's a good question. I think that just comes along again with the retreat. As soon as we set up our own hosting facility, that will definitely be an option because again, we're in the middle right now of looking at facilities to host at and how we can cut cost to produce a significant ROI. Part of what we'll do with our facility is give people that opportunity, not to have a high cost, a mining project. And I think that's a big part of what you just said. Like now is the time. This may be the last time. I know Aaron and I were just talking about this. I think it was just yesterday in 2024 when the halving takes place. Like now is a great time to get into mining. I know for a lot of people, that's difficult. The cost of a miner, the cost of power to run the miner, the maintenance of the miner, like as an individual, it's very difficult to get into mining. But if you can do it through a project where you don't have a large upfront cost and you can still see a significant return, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer right now. But like you said, that could look a lot different in a couple of years.
Yep, absolutely. And can we ask, what is your current electric rate for hosting? And he says, are you charging your holder a flat fee for electricity or a percentage of the mining?
Our holders will just pay for the NFT. That's it. You pay the $300 if you get in phase 1, 400 phase 2, 500 phase 3. We take care of all of the cost, all of the upfront, everything behind the scenes, the maintenance. Our holders literally will just purchase their NFT, stake their NFT, collect their MO rewards, and they don't have to worry about anything else.
Okay, very good. Yeah, we've seen a few projects that you buy your NFT, then you're also paying a maintenance fee to cover, the cost of electricity and things like that. So I think it's way nicer for investors to just have the one-time fee and then they know, okay, I'm done. So yeah, definitely appreciate that. So then you're just going to take some of the rewards from the mining and use that to pay electricity and pay for new miners and things like that. Is that kind of the plan?
Exactly. Yep.
Okay, very good. All right, anybody else in and Fleece is here. Fleece, good to see you, man. Glad you could be here. Says we're looking at around 6 cents per kilowatt hour, still negotiating our contracts. So then 6 cents a kilowatt hour is very good. Okay, it's much cheaper than probably any of you will get like at your home. So again, another reason where it might make more sense rather than mining yourself, it might make more sense to just buy an NFT, let the experts handle it, get the cheaper electricity, get the advantage of buying miners in bulk, those types of things. So yeah, definitely like that. Are there any other questions in the audience? And then I'm going to open it up to you, Xander, Paul, and Aaron. Do you guys have anything else that you want to share about the project, or anything else that you feel we didn't touch on, or details that you want to walk through before we kind of wrap up here?
I'm probably the worst person to ask that because I talk too much. So I'll be quiet for a few minutes and I'll let Xander and Aaron talk for a bit.
There you go. We'll let Paul kind of drop the mic for us at the end. So yeah, Xander and Aaron, do you have any kind of final thoughts as we wrap up here?
Yeah, basically, when I stumbled upon Dogface, I don't think Paul brought it up before, but I actually, through a community member and through the mental health space, is kind of where my introduction to Dogface was. So you could see how the mental health space it moved me, and it built like a fire in me to put everything I got into this project. And just looking at everything that the project has to offer, it's given me a lot of satisfaction to know the causes that it has and also what it could provide for my family. And so that's what I want to say about that.
Can I for you, Xander, do you feel like it was a cause first and then project rather than like, oh, I want to find a mining project and I'm going to hop into that? For you, was it the cause first that brought you into it, and the mining is kind of the icing on the cake?
Yep. The icing on the cake was mining because I love mining, but the cause is what drew me into Dogface. That's what it really did. And as a former law enforcement, I was, I saw that, oh man, these are my brothers right here. These, military, first responders. I mean, it was just an amazing community to be a part of. And that's why I enjoy working here.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. And I definitely see that as kind of being the differentiator between the other mining projects. Is this one is less about the mining part. It's the cause first, and then the mining is a way to support the cause. Rather than, I see a lot of projects that they have a revenue stream and they're like, now we better find a cause that we can maybe support with some of this. And this is completely the other way around. And so I really, really like that. And shout out to Mr. C. He's the one that brought this project to me. So Mr. C is a fellow believer, and he's always looking for good causes to help bring to the channel. So thank you, Isaac. I appreciate that, brother. What about you, Aaron? Any final words here before we kind of give the mic to Paul for the last 30 minutes?
No, hey, we can we can move this mountain together, and yeah, the cause is why we're here. And I hope everybody, stops by the community, checks everything out, and we can answer whatever questions you have. And we can this world needs it. Our first responders need it. Our veterans need it, and it's a cause near and dear to everybody's heart around our community. And we're going to build this thing. And so, I appreciate it, James. Appreciate your time.
Yes, no, I appreciate your time as well. And I can tell that the cause means a lot to you guys. And so I think that's huge. And I did leave a link to the Discord. So I'll leave that link here one more time. So again, if you have more questions, or if you just want to be part of the community, go hop in the Discord and just kind of see what's going on there. Get to know some of the people. Sometimes I recommend, if you can't figure out what projects you want to get into, I know you have limited capital, but go meet the team, meet the community, see, hey, is this something that I want to be part of going forward? And Fleece says our website will be finished within a couple of weeks. There's a ton of project info in the Discord. So yes, you can see the white paper. Again, I'll leave a link to that as well. But Paul, do you want to kind of close us off with some motivational words and final words from Paul before we close here?
Thanks, James. Yeah, I think I would just say, so the Fleece that's commenting now, I call him the mad scientist. Fleece is actually the founder. That's Mark Tolick. He's built just an awesome team here, man. We're pretty blessed to be in the situation that we're in, to have started this project a little over 15 months ago, to come through this supposed bear market. We spent that time with that. You know, it's easy to say here at this project, that military mentality of just put your head down and keep moving forward, because that's really what it is. Mark's put together a strong team here through Dogface, now into Xeno Mining. We're moving into this project again with the goal to produce a significant ROI, to build this retreat. We've built this just amazing team of guys and gals that we've just been fortunate to come across, really just some experts in their craft in this business. And it doesn't stop here. I think that's something that is really important to make clear, is this is only the third collection. Like, first responder will follow, Navy will follow, Air Force will follow, Marines will follow. This is a massive collection of NFT projects that we want to build a brand, not only to bring awareness to veterans and first responders, but to provide real support, and not to just say that we're going to do it, like to do it and deliver on it. And again, the blockchain doesn't lie. Like, our ability to provide returns already to, say, Peaceful Pastures Ranch. It's an equine facility in Florida where they bring horses and veterans together. Soldiers, Sailor Airmen of New Zealand, another organization that works with veterans. We've already partnered with these charities, and we're just getting started. The goal is to partner with as many veteran charities as we can, and to help give back, again, to raise more awareness for veterans. And I think it's really important too, to make sure that we highlight that number of 22 veterans a day commit suicide. Like, we want to be a part of that change. And the only way that we can do that is to be heard, to get out and to speak about it, to talk about it, to not be silent about it. And this gives us the ability to do that, because unfortunately, like, we need to produce some revenue so that we can put together this Dogface documentary and drive across the United States and go kick in doors and talk to senators and legislators about why is this continuing to be a concern or a problem that nobody's addressing. And then, again, we're fortunate to be in the situation that we are, to start the project now, to get into mining now, and to have these experts that we have with us. So yeah, I couldn't be more excited, man. I couldn't feel more honored to be in the position that I'm in as a CEO. These guys just make me look good. I get to come up and, wear my Dogface shirt and kind of look cool. And, these guys are the ones that are the experts, man. We would not be where we are today, right now, without the team that Mark has built. And probably the biggest kudos need to go to him for starting this project, for funding the project himself to get it started. And, Mark being an Army veteran from New Zealand and a former police officer also, it obviously touches his heart, and there's a reason that he started this. So I think you made a great point. If you have questions, there's again, we've built a strong team. Jump in the Discord. You can jump into the voice chat. There's always somebody available to talk. There's a channel for pretty much everything. If you can't find an answer there, we can direct you to the answer, or we'll jump in the voice chat and talk about it. We're fully doxxed. We got nothing to hide. You're meeting us all right now here today. You can see our ugly mugs up in the Discord too, and stories about us. So come and check us out. Ask questions. We really welcome the questions, because it helps us grow and it helps us improve. So, and huge thank you to you, James, for having us on the show, man. Long time, first time for me, and really appreciate the opportunity.
Well, thanks for coming on, and I love this this cause as well, and I'd love to be a part of it. So what I want my audience to do is, if you're watching this, please hit like. Again, that helps the video get more reach. Most of the views come from afterwards, the recording. So hit that like button. That helps YouTube just send it out. And if you're in here, go ahead and hop in the Discord. just join the Discord and just say hi in there. Say, hey, hi from James community, and just hop in there and kind of check it out. That's what I'd like you to do. And then for you guys, let me know when minting starts, things like that. Just let me know so I can get tweets out. So people who watch this, my community, I can just remind them, hey, remember we talked about this NFT that's helping veterans. They're minting now and it's live now, and I can get tweets out to do that. So make sure you keep me in the loop on that. But thank you guys so much for coming on. Thank you for building. Thank you for trying to help the country and the world. Really appreciate that, and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you, James. Appreciate
Thank
you.
you,
And Xander,
everybody.
Aaron, thanks for taking the time, guys.
Yeah, appreciate all you guys. Yep. Hope everybody has a great rest of the day. Enjoy the Bitcoin pump while we can. Who knows what's going to happen with it, but enjoy it while you can. So thanks, everybody.